Welcome to the third week of the Eastlake High School football broadcast. I'm David Oliphant here with Jeremy Budish, and this week we're excited to be with the defense. We've got first-year defensive coordinator Coach Hutton here with us, and we'll hear from him in just a minute. And we've got four of the key defensive players from last week's win against Gig Harbor. We've got two-way player Jack Devine, a junior who's playing on both sides of the ball on the line. Adam Barrick, who played linebacker and also some running back last week, who's a senior. Barrett Bratlin, who's a free safety, strong safety. And senior Landon Johnson, a standout lacrosse player, joined this year as a cornerback and receiver. So to all you guys, welcome to our third week of meeting with you. And Coach Hutton, congratulations, your first home win in front of the Eastlake crowd. That was so exciting to see everybody there on Saturday night. And wow, did you put on a good defensive performance. And that was a tough Gig Harbor team running the wing. You're very familiar with it, but congratulations on your first win, Coach.
Thanks, guys. It means a lot. It was jumping there on Saturday, and what a great win.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Gig Harbor game, Coach. And we're going to see some similar things this week against Tumwater, and Jeremy will talk about that. But let's focus on Gig Harbor for a minute. Going in to the game last week, coming back from the game against Williamsfield down in SoCal, they ran a spread offense, and now you're up against a heavy run team like Gig Harbor. What was the game plan?
Priority one, just stopping the run. You know that they want to run the ball all game. I believe they had 44 carries in that game on Saturday. So we knew that priority one was stopping the run, and part of that's just making sure that we're very disciplined. You have to be very disciplined against a wing T, and so we were just harping on it all week. We got to stop the run and play a physical, violent brand of football while being disciplined with our reads and our jobs.
Well, you were disciplined, and it was noticed. Jeremy and I were incredibly impressed of how disciplined the team was in limiting the big plays. There was a little bit of the bend but don't break. They moved the ball up and down the field a little bit, but nothing big. That was awesome.
Well, and
kind of in line with that, they had some different offensive. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, I was going to say, coming off of a really, really strong victory that they had in week one where they didn't even throw the ball once, right? I mean, that first week that they played, they had no passes even attempted. So, I mean, you knew they were going to run. They ran, but you guys, like you said, came out tough on them.
Yeah, that was a goal. We knew if we got them in a position where they're going to try to throw the ball, we were doing something really well. Anytime you can get a wing T team to start throwing the ball consistently, you've done something right.
That's awesome. Talk about a little bit, how you handled Gig Harbor's offensive threats. They had a couple of good athletes on their side of the ball. How did you prepare for that?
Just going into the week, we felt pretty good about our guys. Pretty much on any given Friday, I feel good about the guys we have wearing our colors and supporting our brand. And we just knew that if we could win up front, we were going to have a pretty good day. And we finally got our D-line back healthy, and we felt like if we could have a pretty solid rotation of those four up front, like that's a really good unit. And so if we can get those guys playing with confidence on a good rotation, I like us against a lot of teams. So
I agree. It was great. You had Fang back, you had Painter back, and you could just tell there was more fresh legs, especially late in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Coach, one of the big things this year has been some of the juniors that are stepping up. We've got Jack Devine here, who's a junior, but played last year as a sophomore. But some of the guys, Wheeler, Bratlin, or Hannah, these guys were all basically playing JV football last year, and now they're stepping up on the big stage. How have you helped these guys prepare for their first taste of varsity football?
I really think it's just about building their confidence and allowing them to play fast. One of the number one things, like when we play the wing T, is our job is not easy, but it's simple. And so if you can kind of dumb it down and simplify it for them and let them know that they only have to do a few things, that they're going to be able to play fast. And when they play fast, I think we put them in position to be successful. And now they're building confidence. And so if they can build confidence in their junior year, going into their senior year is going to be an issue for a lot of teams. And so Those guys have done a really good job of being coachable, and you can ask them. I coach them hard, and I think just letting them play fast and be in positions to be successful has been key for those guys.
In a chaser to that, there's a couple first-year seniors. Landon's one of those, and Adam's stepping up big in a linebacker play. Of course, missed Kobe Johnson here last week. But any comments on the first-year seniors getting a lot of action out there?
Well, anytime you have a D1 lacrosse commit that's going to go play for a national championship winning program, his athleticism speaks for itself. He's really easy to coach, and he wants to be coaching. So it's great having Landon out there shutting down one side, and AB is just a physical linebacker. He is a very downhill, violent tackler, and he's not afraid to get in there with the big boys and play between the tackles and the box. And so anytime you have a linebacker that's willing to flow downhill and be violent, it makes my job really easy. I just got to make sure to put him in the right spots. And so
I love it.
Great.
I love it. Downhill violence.
That's the brand. We try relentless effort and violence. We're working on it every day.
What other defensive players stood out to you in the game, Coach?
It's definitely a cliche, and maybe I'm just covering my tail so I don't leave anybody out. But I really feel like everybody played well. Like I would say 11 guys played their hearts out and played very, 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 very well. But we had guys coming in that played out of position. We had linebackers playing D end, and we had guys playing some box roles that they don't usually play. And I truly believe that everybody stepped up and played a really good game. Barrett had a monster game. I think I had him post game. We always do we give all these kids edge stickers. Edge stands for everyday great effort. We give them an edge sticker if they have plays that pop off on tape. And I think I could have given Barrett like 12, and I feel like it was just, hey, Barrett Bratlin, like always just getting a sticker. He had a monster game. All the guys on the D line had a really good day, just doing their job and playing very unselfish brand of football. And anytime you get that from those big boys up front, you're going to have a good day. Like that's where the game is won up front. And so if you can win the line of scrimmage, and which we did, is you saw the result of it. Linebackers once again playing downhill, reading their keys and doing their job. Secondary was really disciplined and sniffing out passes. The wing T will lull you to sleep. They'll run it and run it and run it and run it, and then they'll give you hard play action and throw the ball. So truly, like all 11 guys on defense just played really well.
That's awesome. You mentioned the whole team, but how would you evaluate the defense's performance in the game? What was your grade for the team?
I was super stoked. Like I said, we played really well. At the end of the week or at the end of the game, I always think of like, what did we do well and what can we improve on? I'm never going to be complacent with, we could hold a team to 0 points. I'm going to find reasons that, or areas that we came up short and try to build on those. And so it feels like there's a little bit of an asterisk next to some of those touchdowns. They got a big kickoff return, so now they're going from a short field, and some unfortunate events put us in a short field. And I think if we can mitigate those, like all elite defenses can be given a short field and just come up with the ball, come up with the snap, force a turnover, force a negative play, just something that can mitigate that situation. And if we want to be a very elite defense, those are situations we're going to have to thrive in. And so we'll get to that point. It's only week, heading into week 3, new coordinator, new defense, new coaching staff, new, like you said, a lot of these guys, I believe heading into Williamsfield, 9 of our 11 starters on defense have never played a varsity snap before. And so we'll get to that point, and we'll get there every day, 1% better every day. And I think we'll be a very elite unit at some point.
I agree. You look like it on Saturday.
Okay, so as we jump over to this week, and we prep for Tumwater, obviously, you're familiar with him. You played under Tumwater's head coach your freshman year and your sophomore year, if I have my research done correctly. I guess, your thoughts on, does that give you any insight into the game plan and the strategy? We know they run wing T. We also know that they run it a little bit different than Gig Harbor.
First and foremost, I have a lot of love for Coach Garrow. Fun fact, he was actually it was either, I want to say 7th grade. It was either 7th or 8th grade. He was my history teacher. And then, he was my football coach my freshman year. I wouldn't say so. We had 3 teams when I was at Stillicum, and so my freshman year we had a freshman staff, and they used to send us down to the baseball field, so we were never Like I'm sure that a lot of these Eastlake guys can relate. Like I don't know, I was never really coached by him until we were up on the field, and that was kind of rare. So I'd say no. Um, Totally different system. You go to Tumwater, you're running the wing tee. Like it doesn't matter where you come from, what you do. You're going to adhere to the wing tee, and you're going to run the wing tee, and you're going to do what's been done there for, I don't know, 60 years. So I wouldn't say so. I played against Tumwater a lot. I played against them 3 times just between my junior and senior year. So I'm very familiar with what they want to do, the brand of football they want to play. Like those guys are in a state championship game at like an 80% clip. Like they're always in the big dance, and it's a hell of a program. Very familiar with it. So I would say yes and no. Just playing against them, yes, but the Coach Garrow thing, probably not. But a lot of love for Coach Garrow.
So I guess as we follow on to that, obviously they run the wing tee. They run it different than Gig Harbor. What did that do for you guys in your preparation this week? How did that change from last week to this week as you guys got ready for this game?
It's incredibly valuable. It helps a lot because now we're just kind of in that wing tee zone. We don't need to refresh guys. Like if we played Gig Harbor week 2 and then don't play them, play another wing tee team for another few weeks, like you have to refresh and go back over everything that you've been taught when it comes to the wing tee. And so I think it's really just allowing us to stay in the wing tee state of mind has helped a lot. Guys are understanding their jobs a little bit more, and if anything, we can just compound on it and keep building on what we already have. And I feel like we have a good foundation. Luckily, Coach Hurd's very, very familiar with the wing tee as well. So just mixing our game plans and being able to rely on him as a really good resource for the wing tee stuff is great. And I love our game plan, and I love what we want to do.
Do I have it right that he also played for Coach Garrow and coached with him?
I believe he played with Coach Garrow, yes. He ran a wing tee in high school, and then definitely did coach with Coach Garrow.
That's great. So I guess looking back a little bit, week 1, Williams Field, we were pretty thin on the line across the board, DN offense. Last week we had Fang back, we had Reed back, we had Painter back. It added some depth. And I think it definitely helped. We also lost some guys this week, right? I mean, I think I saw the post that Mason Flynn's out. I think Wheeler's going to probably be out this week. Henry last week talked to us a little bit about playing with a little more grit. I think we saw that in the game. How do you think Tumwater stacks up against our defensive line, and what do you think about Henry's statement about them playing with a little bit more grit last week?
It'll always be my mentality that I don't care if we're playing the Seahawks tomorrow night. Like I choose us. I'll always choose us. I love what we're building, and I love what we have. I really like our odds going into the game tomorrow. I think if you can, it's kind of an old head take, I guess. I don't know, but if you can win at the line of scrimmage and you can have a healthy defensive line rotation, like that's where everything boils down. And I really like our front. We have an 8-man rotation that we can really get after teams, and fully healthy. That's a very dangerous unit, and it's a very great thing to have on your team. Is a not only a great front 4, but if you can substitute and rotate those guys and your play not drop off too much, if at all, that's hard for an O-line to have to go against 8 guys on any given Friday. And so guys have shown that they're bought into our defensive ideology. Like I said, relentless effort and violence is our motto. And so we're building it, and we're getting better every single day, 1% every day. We can just get 1% better every day. We're going to be pretty stout. So having those guys back is huge, and we're just going to keep getting better and buying into that ideology every day.
Yeah. And I know you weren't here last year, and a lot of these guys on the call didn't play last year, but I know it's fresh in everybody's mind. I mean, Tumwater came to our house last year and played a really good game of football. They ended up on top, and we saw that. What's the mindset going into the rematch, from the guys this week?
This is a brand new Eastlake team. New coaches, new players, new scheme, a new standard. Like it's different from top to bottom, and I think it's hard to. Last year doesn't exist. to us. Last year should never exist, right? Like we're here and now. We're worried about today. We're worried about tomorrow. Our mindset each week is to go 1-0, and I think that's the goal when we get on the bus Friday night. And like I said, I choose us every day.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna give it back to Dave.
Yeah,
And
that's
Dave,
awesome. Now we'll
let
hear
me know
from
when
some
you
of the
want to see that.
players.
Let me know when you want to see that first clip, Dave.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Coach Hutt, thanks for all that. That was awesome, and I love your energy and the belief you got in these players. We'll start out, Jack Devine, Adam Barrick, kind of hear from both of you guys. Um, special teams, like Coach said, kind of put you in a short field a couple times there, but how did it feel to set the tone early in the game with those first stops, Jack? Kind of what was your thought that those first couple series?
I thought it was great. I mean, it was much different from Williamsfield. I feel like we didn't come out as quick, and that punished us at the start. But we came out hot during this game, and definitely brought the energy for the rest of the game. And I wasn't even in most of those tackles. I was just on my guy, but bringing those like Jack Steiner getting those 2 tackles meant a lot at the start. It sets the tone, like you said, and it sets up for the rest of the game and the rest of the week.
Jack was fired up. That got me jacked up. That was awesome at the beginning of the game. Here's a clip Jeremy's going to play for us.
Yeah, this is that stop that you just talked about by Jack. 3rd and 1, 5th play of the game, I think is what it was. And, come in and just pound him in the backfield.
A lot of excitement there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And Adam, for you, this was a big series, and it's fun watching you and Wheeler, 26 and 28 in there next to each other. But how did it feel for you to get a big stop there that first drive?
I mean, yeah, it was great. That stop just kept fueling our offense or our defense to keep making big plays, and just kept our energy up, and just helped us play like with a bunch of fire and play with our heads on fire.
That's awesome. And I would note, I felt like your tackling as a team, it's very difficult sometimes to see who has the ball on these type of deceiving offenses. You tackled well for the most part, and that play right there was a great example. That's awesome.
Yeah, we did a great job at getting 11 hats to the ball pretty much every play.
Yeah, sitting up in the box, definitely. I mean, we're listening to the spotters just down from us, and over and over and over last week you heard, that was a pack of wolves. That was a pack of wolves. Like, I mean, they were having a hard time distinguishing who was making tackles and who were making the stops, because, like you said, 11 guys were rallying to the ball every play. So that was fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
But let's jump over to Landon. So Landon, obviously first year playing football, super exciting to see out here. Love watching your style of play as it develops. I'm going to ask you a question about your buddy Miles. He's getting a lot of attention right now. Just got, the Washington State or WIAA Player of the Week, which is pretty awesome recognition for his performance on Saturday night. And it was pretty amazing. He had that 95-yard strip, essentially touchdown, right? I mean, they call it a fumble, but really it was a strip. And so why don't you, I mean, you were in on that play. There was 11 hats rallying to the ball. I'll run the clip here, and you can talk a little bit about it.
I think, Landon, you're on mute there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I think right before this play, we kind of got together as a defense, and we're like, hey, if we tackle this guy, if we wrap him up, like, let's punch at the ball here. Let's try and get a turnover. And I mean, you kind of see it on film right there. You're like, how the heck does he even pull that off? But I think the one thing about Miles that anyone on our team could attest to is if he's on the field, whether it's offense or defense, a big play is going to come. He just has that ability. It's just something that he always brings to the field. I mean, he just showcased it right there. It's a perfect example. Ripped the ball. I mean, I don't even think anyone else knew that he had the ball until he was at half field. And, that's just the type of player he is. He just brings that mentality and kind of swagger to our team. And I think really lifts us up. And so he's been a huge leader for us. And, great to see him get the recognition that he deserves.
Thanks, Landon.
That was awesome to see you celebrating in the end zone with him there. That had to have been a moment you'll remember your whole life, I think.
I wish I would have been able to play the audio because Dave's commentary on that was pretty amazing. Who has the ball?
You know what blew me away is they didn't blow the whistle with forward progress there, but I think the officials must have seen the ball pop out. And I talked to Miles, and he said, I actually had it for a while, and I realized I might as well run with it.
Yeah, I don't really know if anyone else on our defense but me realized he had the ball, but I saw him have the ball pretty early, and I was like, Miles, like, go score, and he just took off.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. I'm glad we got to hear your perspective on that, Landon. That's good. Uh, Transition over to Barrett. Barrett, Coach said you played a great game. You know, what did you focus on during practice last week and this week, kind of leading up to this game? Like, how did you prepare to transition from a deep pass cover and free safety to a box player like Coach talked about?
I feel like Coach was mainly talking about focusing on like discipline because of the wing T and like doing our jobs, because they can pull the ball out and they run it anywhere, and yeah, I feel like discipline was the main thing.
You did a great job. You had a lot of tackles, and it just seemed like one after another. You looked like a wrestler out there takedowns every few
You know, and getting ready for a tough game this week. How do we make sure that, or how are you guys making sure that the team is staying mentally sharp, you know, when you're coming up against something similar but different, you know, with the Tumwater wing T?
I think I know it's repetitive and like it's pretty much the same offense, but from experience, we played them last year. Tumwater plays it. I think that Tumwater runs it a lot better. They run it a lot faster. They get straight up from the line from the huddle in like 3 seconds and snap the ball. So if you don't know where your like job is or assignment immediately, then they're gonna run it down your throat. So you gotta make sure that you are just on top and focused and locked in the entire game, where they'll destroy you.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that Coach Hutt, the whole staff has preached this week is to, not get complacent, right? Gig Harbor was a good team, but we think that Tumwater might be a step up from them. And Coach Hutt, specifically in the defense room, talks about discipline and doing your 111th, which means you're not trying to make a play that's not yours, because the way the wing T is set up, they look for people who are trying to make plays that aren't yours, and look for people who aren't disciplined, and that's where they really thrive. So we feel that as a defense, if we can have everybody bought into doing their 111th and being disciplined, that we'll find a lot of success.
That's great. Hey, before we jump to the next question, I do want to show another clip. I got a pretty amazing sack by Mr. Devine. So tell us what your thoughts are, quick, Jack, on this play.
I don't know. I knew it was before the play happened. I knew it was going to be a pass, so I was just prepared for that because I know they had a long ways to go with not much time, and how the O-line was set up. I knew it was going to be a pass, so I was just ready to get after that, and it was really exciting after it. I mean, I was pumped up after it. It was a big stop, and it just got the whole team excited, and definitely gave some energy going into the second half, having a good end to the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's super fun to watch on real time, on game day. Super excited for you. You had a couple last year, so it wasn't your first, but still always exciting. First of the season, right?
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Next question for Barrett and Adam. The energy on this team was fire on Saturday night. You could see the families, everybody greeting each other down by the track and the gate, leaving the field. But what was it like in the locker room after this win, and how do you carry that here into Friday night?
I feel like starting off in the locker room, got the boombox and we're playing tunes, and it gets really hyped in there, especially with all of Estes' music. I love it.
What about you, Adam? Tell us about the locker room. What's it like to be back there?
I mean, yeah, it was great. Everyone was just dancing. Everyone was just like being loud, getting hype. Even everybody was definitely probably really sore and beat up from the game, but we were just really happy to win, and yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. Well, I'm imagining that in Tumwater's visitor locker room, it's going to be fire here Friday night, and it's going to be awesome to watch you guys take the field wearing white again. That's great.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. I'm going to do around the horn. I'll call you by name, and what I would like to hear is, what you think the outcome for Friday night's going to be. So let's start with Landon.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the outcome of the game, I think we all are confident that we can go into this game and win. And, I see that happening. I give a lot of credit to the coaching staff for preparing us. I think they've done a really good job of that. And I think, we've been mentally locked in this week. And I think it'd be really good to get a statement win here against a really tough and disciplined Tumwater squad and carry that momentum for the rest of our season. Looking ahead, we've got some big games on our schedule. And I think getting a statement win here would be really good to build momentum and give us confidence moving forward.
Again, if I think I've done my homework right, I think Coach Garro has only lost 2 games. He lost against Puyallup and he lost in the state championship game state championship game against Anacortes last year. So he's got a pretty good record. I agree. If we can go down there, that would be a big statement. Jack.
I believe if we just stay disciplined, stay locked in, just especially against this really tough wing team, we can stop their offense. And then if our offense stays locked in and runs the right plays and makes a good effort blocks and stuff, we could put up a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Awesome. Adam.
Yeah, I mean, according to the rankings, we're the underdogs, but I don't think we feel that way. I mean, our coaching staff has done a great job to prepare us mentally. I think as long as everyone does their jobs, does their 111th, I think we're gonna be just fine. I think we're gonna get a good W.
Okay, Barrett.
Yeah, doing your 111th, doing your job, keeping our energy high. I feel like we got it.
Awesome. And last, Coach Hutton.
I think if we come out with the right mentality and, start from the first snap with a lot of energy and just take it one play at a time. The problem with the wing T is you get ahead of yourself and you're like, okay, well, if we get to stop here, then what's going to happen? You can't do it. You have to have a, mind of a goldfish and you're playing 1 15-second snap, right? And if we can just do that and play each play for, what it is and just go down by down, everybody do their 111th and be disciplined, play relentless effort and violence, we're going to have a good night tomorrow.
Love awesome. It. We appreciate you guys. This is super fun.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. You guys put in a ton of work. A lot of people don't see.
Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. We'll be down there. Like always, we'll be setting up and bringing the broadcast to the world. So thank you guys for taking the time tonight, and go Wolves.
Well, strong patch, strong go Wolves.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Boom. Thanks, Coach.
Did you stop the recording there, Jeremy?
Yeah, we're stopped.
It still says recording on my end, but welcome to the third week of the Eastlake High School football broadcast. I'm David Oliphant here with Jeremy Budish, and this week we're excited to be with the defense. We've got first-year defensive coordinator, Coach Hutton. Welcome to the
Good evening, football fans. Welcome to Tumwater. couple of friendly reminders as we kick off and do a little bit of an audio check here. This is Jeremy Budish, one of your Eastlake announcers, standing next to Dave Oliphant. Want to remind everybody, October 4th, 5 p.m., Pickering Barn in Issaquah, we have Wolves Under the Harvest Moon, the annual WFA and other football programs sponsor event. Get your tickets for that event. I also want to talk about our sponsors quickly. Kinson & Kinson Homes. Thank you for years of support of the Eastlake football program, as well as the other clubs and programs at Eastlake that you support. And Pine Lake Ale House. Pine Lake Ale House, again, a longtime sponsor of the program. Thank you, Pine Lake Ale House. If anybody's sitting back in Sammamish and you have your iPhone in your pocket and you want to go down and grab a pint, watch Dave and I call the game, it would be a great environment. Might even be able to get them to throw it up on the old big screen and rock out for the Wolves. Head on down to Pine Lake Ale House. Again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's live broadcast of the Washington High School football. We're coming to you live from historic Sid Oaten Field, named after the legendary coach who led Tumwater from 1974 to 2016, where number 18 ranked Tumwater Thunderbirds host the number 12 ranked Eastlake Wolves in a compelling Week 3 matchup of the 2025 season. This isn't just a clash of two proud programs. It's a reunion of coaching minds, a meeting layered with mentorship, legacy, and mutual respect. Let's start with the visiting Eastlake Wolves. Under the leadership of newly appointed head coach Greg Hurd, Eastlake enters tonight's game 1-1 after a tough opener against the Williams Field of Arizona. The Wolves bounce back with a 39-20 win over a very tough Gig Harbor team. Senior standout and Washington Interscholastic Athletic Association Athlete of the Week, number 20, Miles Johnson, exploding with 225 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, a passing TD, and 95-yard defensive strip and score. Second-year quarterback Ryder Bearsmith added 153 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Coach Hurd, a former Eastern Washington University star and NFL wide receiver, brings more than just athletic pedigree. He brings coaching lineage rooted in wing T tradition. Before head coaching stints at Auburn, Riverside, and now Eastlake, Hurd served as a player and assistant under Coach Garrow at Stillicon, where the two helped guide Stillicon to its first state championship appearance and also mentored future NFL talent. Across the field, Tumwater Thunderbirds are led by Coach Garrow, now in his 3rd season as head coach of the Thunderbirds. They're also 1-1, rebounding from a narrow Week 1 loss at Puyallup. Garrow's first loss in his regular season coaching stint at Tumwater. However, Tumwater rebounded with a dominant 45-6 win over Bainbridge in Week 2. Tumwater racked up over 500 yards of offense with explosive performance from Tyler Briscoe with 139 yards, 2 TDs, 81 receiving yards, and 1 TD. Peyton Davis, 108 rushing yards, 3 TDs on just 7 carries. And quarterback Jackson Budd, 5 of 9 passing, 126 yards, 1 TD. Coach Garrow continues the legacy of Sid Orton and Bill Beathy, instilling discipline, physicality, and mastery of the wing T offense. But tonight he faces similar faces across the sidelines. His former player and assistant coach Greg Hurd, and former player Christian Hutton, the Eastlake defensive coordinator. This game is more than just a rematch of last year's 38-27 Tumwater victory over Eastlake. It's a full circle momentum. Garrow once coached Hurd at Stillicon and then brought him onto his staff. Now that protege leads his own program. As the sun sets over Tumwater and the lights come on at Sid Orton Field, we're set for a game in rich storylines fueled by relationships forged in the locker room and on the practice fields years ago. Will Coach Hurd and the Wolves write a new chapter tonight? Or will Coach Garrow and the Thunderbirds defend their home turf and extend their legacy? We're about to find out. Kickoff is less than 10 minutes away. This is Eastlake versus Tumwater, live from Tumwater High School, right here on your home for Eastlake High School football.
6'2" tall, 255-pound senior Henry Volpone. Number 57, 6'3" tall, 235-pound junior Jack Devine. And number 64, 6'2" tall, 255-pound junior David Starting at defensive back, wearing number 10 is junior Tyler Briscoe.
All right, Jeremy, we're back live here. It's exciting. Sid Oaten Field, Jeremy in Tumwater.
The Eastlake Wolves have just come out of the locker room in their black helmets. They're wearing the white jerseys and the white pants tonight. Visiting here in Tumwater, your introduction was great. Jeremy, this is a special field. This is my first time here.
Mine too.
Where we here tonight, it's hard to see from the camera perspective, but the visiting and home fans all sit on one side of the field. We are under cover if there's rain. There's no rain tonight. It's going to be a beautiful night. It's about 74 degrees. There is some smoke in the air. I just noticed the AQI is floating around 125 coming over from the Olympic Peninsula. But as you see at the middle of the field, Tumwater, who is one of the top-ranked teams in the 2A for the state of Washington, has taken center stage here. And this is a special stadium, Jeremy. We walked around the stadium here a little bit before the game. What did you see down in the hallways beneath us?
I think that rich legacy of football, and I think that's in the 2A bracket, they are one of the most winning teams, right? They came up runner-up last year. They won it the year before. They're a solid 2A team. We saw that last year when they came to Eastlake. They came and they ran their wing tee the way they do. And this stadium is full of Tumwater Thunderbird legacy. All right, I think they've only had 5 head coaches here in their history, which also tells you that they're very loyal to their people. They're very loyal to their style of football and their community here in Tumwater.
All right, we'll pause here for a moment for the national anthem. We're waiting on the national anthem. Looks like 20 Miles Johnson, 64 Finn Johnson, 56 Henry Volpone, and 3 Jacob Kim will be captains for Eastlake.
At center field for the coin toss for the Wolves, it's number 20 Miles Johnson, number 64 Finnegan Waldron, number 56 for the Wolves Henry Volpone, and number 3 Jacob Kim.
Jeremy, while we're waiting on the national anthem, just at the coin toss here, you could see Finn and Henry definitely have some size over, for example, number 75 on Tumwater. But I think this is a good game you don't judge the fight by the size of the dog. These guys play tough football regardless of their size.
They play tough, disciplined football. I think last year we had them outweighed by 50 pounds average on the line of scrimmage. But that does not matter to Tumwater. They have a plan. They're going to come execute it. You and I watched some film last night as we were getting ready for this game, and it was evident. Coach Caro really took up right where they left off when he took over 3 years ago, and they're a solid program here.
Also tonight with us as an honorary captain.
Well, it looks like the national anthem will be a little bit longer. If you joined late, we started this broadcast about 45 minutes ago. We had an opportunity. Jeremy, last night you and I sat down with 4 of the key defensive players for Eastlake and the defensive coordinator Coach Hutton. We had a great time with those guys last night.
Yeah, it was great.
So if you join late after the game or whenever, go back and rewatch that. It's really special to get to know some of those players and our new coaches more personal.
I think El Presidente, Jim Ort, has named our little interviews the Den interviews. So that was our third week in a row, and they've been great. Like I said, they've been giving us an opportunity to, talk to the guys and get a feel for what's happening with the program and get to meet some of the new coaches and for them to get to meet some of the community. So it's been great.
Agreed. All right, we'll take a pause here for the national anthem.
Eastlake won the coin toss, and they will defer to receive the football at the second half. So Tumwater will receive the opening kickoff. Say fans, at this time we invite you to please rise, remove your caps as we honor America and listen to the national anthem as played by the Tumwater High School Band under the direction of Peter Klinsman and drum major Will Harris.
All right, so just before we went silent for the national anthem, we heard that Eastlake won and deferred. So we're getting ready for the kickoff to start the game. It looks like about a minute 30 left on the pregame clock here in Tumwater. Eastlake's fans have traveled well. We have a fairly full visitor section right below us.
If you're new joining our broadcast, please like and subscribe. It really does help us get the word out. If you like the Eastlake Wolves football page and subscribe to the page, or like the video, the broadcast tonight, it helps us. So here comes the Eastlake kickoff team, Jeremy. It'll be most of the same folks we've seen the last couple of weeks. Gideon Birchfield on the near side, Jack Steiner, number 4, 15, Chase Hanska, 32, Rory Johnson, 33, Caden Eaton. Kicking tonight is number 19, Ben Byman, back after a week off. 22, Finn Hanna, 27, Barrett Bratlin. I see 2, Estes Oliphant on the far side, and maybe 3, Jacob Kim. I can't tell the second to far. This place is rocking, Jeremy.
It is. It is.
Jeremy, I got a text just a few minutes ago that the athletic director was concerned about the air quality, and there were concerns whether this game would be played. When I arrived here a couple hours ago, it was around 100, and now it is 125, so I'm just putting that out there.
Right. Looks like the Eastlake cheer squad fought a little traffic tonight and has just arrived, so welcome, Wolves cheerleaders. Thank you for making the long drive.
And we've got some good fans here tonight. In front of us, from where the cameras are at to the right, are all Eastlake fans. Short kick. It is not fair cut. It's bobbled. Steiner in first there and wrapped up by Barrett Bratlin. And it'll be Tumwater's ball about the 23-yard line to start the game.
Not going to lie, Dave. I've seen that bumble before. It hasn't been well for the Wolves, so super good to see them wrap them up there and start in a long field for the Wolves, which is great. So apologies tonight. I understand on the down and distance may not appear on the screen. I'll do my best here. So it's 1st and 10 on the 24-yard line, and Tumwater breaks the huddle quick, comes out, 32 in motion, and it's handed to 32, who's hit at the line of scrimmage by a pack of Wolves. It looks like Adam Barrick, who we interviewed last night, was one of the first Wolves there, Jeremy.
Yeah, that was definitely a pack of Wolves. We talked about that last week. 11 hats to the ball was the motto. Do your 111th. If you watched the interview, you hear that a few times. That was definitely everybody doing 111th. So
now, warning: when Tumwater breaks the huddle, they're going to come out quick, and they do. They get set with a heavy formation to the far side. Quick motion, 32. They hand it to him again on the far side. He's got the edge, fighting around, and he gets the edge. And Barrett pushes him out around the 45-yard line, but not before a gain of first down. Jeremy, there's a flag on the field on the 35 in the vicinity of what could be a holding penalty on the Thunderbirds.
Is a penalty marker on the field.
Starting the defensive line, we've got Ryder Paterno, 18 on the near side, 55 Wilson Fang, and 57 Jack Devine at defensive tackles, and 11 James Ort III on the coverage on the play. The defensive rush was solid, but not enough to get to the quarterback there, and that'll bring up 1st and 10 from Tumwater's 43-yard line. Backfield to the far side, hand up right up the middle. That's number 10.
He's swallowed.
In the backfield. Looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss. He fought hard for a gain of 1.
A late whistle, so they were, for a program like Tumwater, I don't think you're going to see them punt this ball.
Tumwater does not substitute any players, so this is the biggest play of the game so far. 4th down and there, but Tumwater was absolutely marching, had a couple of gains north of 10 yards.
Yep.
And a big 4th down stop there.
Bend, don't break.
We didn't know exactly what kind of defense, with a little help. Wilson's a big addition to the defensive line, so hopefully this is just a twisted ankle. 5, same formation, King and Kim on the near side, Ort and Hanschke on the far side, and look for a handoff to Miles. Indeed, it's a fake to Miles again. Another throw to another throw to Jacobson, the junior, calling for the huddle. Jacobson, the junior, calling for the huddle, and we've got Finn Waldron and Henry Bullpone, the guard and tackle on Finn Waldron and Henry Bullpone, the guard and tackle on the near side. And on the far to the far side, Budish in the backfield at fullback. And on the far to the far side, Budish in the backfield at fullback. No tight ends, Mason King on the near side. Hard count, handoff to Johnson right up the middle, King on the near side. Hard count, handoff to Johnson right up the middle. Miles
swallowed up.
Spun down, but I believe a Tumwater.
Swallowed up.
Spun down, but I believe a Tumwater player down on the far side of the field. The far side of the field.
It's not one-sided. It's by the air to Chase. It's by the ground to Miles. It's not one-sided. It's by the air to Chase. It's by the ground to Miles. They are definitely doing what we need them to do tonight. Yeah, our tech team here does a lot. Miles tech team here does a lot. Miles Johnson swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
So that'll bring up
swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
So that'll bring up 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10. PAT, that's Ben Byman. We missed Ben last week. Nolan Budish did a PAT, that's Ben Byman. We missed Ben last week. Nolan Budish did a great job filling in. Ben is a left-footed kicker. Ben is a left-footed kicker. Kick is good, and that will take us. Side, apologies. That's
J-Mo.
Side, apologies. That's
J-Mo.
Jamison Smith, J-Mo.
Jamison Smith, J-Mo. But Jacob Kim scoring touchdowns, place holding. Now he's on kickoff team. He might even be on defense next. Evan Bettinger. Now he's on kickoff team. He might even be on defense next. Evan Bettinger out with a knee injury. Jackson Wheeler out with a shoulder injury. Colby Johnson out with a knee injury. Jackson Wheeler out with a shoulder injury. Colby Johnson out. Mason Flynn out. Quick toss to 32. We've seen him run the ball already several times. Mason Flynn out. Quick toss to 32. We've seen him run the ball already several times. And he picks up a nice gain. The WIA Washington picks up a nice gain. The WIA Washington High School. It was mentioned in the interview earlier, Eastlake is the underdog tonight in some of the the rankings. Even that was not a fumble. The underdog tonight in some of the the rankings. Even that was not a fumble. That was an incomplete pass. To end here just momentarily. Maybe, Sean, does it make sense to wait till the end of this drive or even into the quarter here, if we can? But is it recording where it can play late? Checks in, he's in the slot, Miles in the back. Barry Smith looks, pass to Landon Johnson. It's a tunnel screen, Landon's fast and picks up Johnson, and that is incomplete. It'll bring up 4th and 4, but look for Eastlake to maybe go